2014 meeting of the Lowell Conservation Commission. First item on tonight's agenda I am going to take out of order. That is a request for determination of applicability. Michael Marion, project location is 35 Riverwalk Way and 52 Lawrence Drive, and it's to modify an existing parking lot, including restriping and expansion of pavement at the Renaissance on the River condominium abutting the Merrimack River.
Good evening,
Mr. Hammer,
Chairman.
if you could identify yourself for the record.
Good evening, Chairman. My name is Matt Hammer. I'm representing the trustees of the Renaissance on the River Condominium Trust. They're located at two addresses. One is 52 Lawrence Drive, and the other is 35 Riverwalk Way, which is adjacent to the Aiken Street Bridge area as you come over to the left. And this rendering helps us see the landscaped national park land all around. And then the white area are the parking areas here. Each parking area is accessed by two different roadways. One is Lawrence Drive here, and the other is River Walkway. We are requesting to restripe portions of the existing pavement area, parking area, here, and to remove an existing landscaped green space, which is here, to create a total of 13 spaces. We've received approval from the Historic Board, the Zoning Board of Appeals, as well as the Planning Board. We're here this evening to request under our request for determination of applicability application, because our improvements to the parking area is going to result in a net gain of flood storage of approximately 26 cubic yards. So with the removal of this 6-inch area here in elevation to be then resurfaced with porous pavement in that section, in the removal of small areas here, and here, we're able to cut the existing curb line, extend those areas so that we can restripe the parking areas in order to gain those additional 13 spaces. The entire area is in the floodplain. It's breaching over Riverwalk Way, the Riverwalk in this area here. So we felt as though that we wouldn't be adversely affecting the floodway, and that the work wouldn't pose any adverse effect to the nearby Merrimack because of the obvious barrier between the work and the river, and that's what we're here to request this evening.
I'll take the easy one first, at least for me. The 52 Lawrence Drive restriping and the minor cut is okay with me. And at first blush, you would think that the commission would be falling over itself to gain 26 cubic yards of fill, additional storage. However, you're not familiar with the history of that particular 100 square feet of ground. It is the original site of two ancient American sycamore trees that this commission fought for years against DCAM to preserve. And at one point in time, those trees were actually suspended in air while they were remediating the site. It was a dirty site.
Really?
And they're right where you're proposing your cut.
Right here.
DCAM sold the property out to three separate entities: Trinity Development, which did the Perkins Street thing, the Renaissance on the River
Yep.
project in UMass Lowell. And those three parties were, because of the nature of the battle that this commission had with DCAM, were somewhat innocent bystanders caught in the crosshairs, but all three of them, well, actually, I think Renaissance was not because it was off their property, agreed to plant rather large caliper American sycamores in their place because of the outstanding orders this commission had on the properties. We had outstanding enforcement orders in violations because of the removal of the trees, which were never permitted by us. They were literally done in the middle of the night, to say it gently. You may be okay, but what concerns me is that you're within feet of three of the sycamores, the larger caliper sycamores that we had requested to be planted. Yeah, and I'm not sure which ones they are now. There's one you're removing, and I don't know if that's one of ours or if it was one of the existing maples that was down there. I'm not quite sure. I'd like to take a look at it first.
Yeah, that's interesting. Of all the people I've spoke to about this project, this is the first that's come up.
Yeah,
And I've always been perplexed as to
I'm-
why this was there.
Yeah,
and
I'm not
now that makes
surprised. And
sense.
again, this, Commissioner Varnum and I go way back on this. This, probably goes back, 10, 12 years? Yeah, for
So-
us. And I'll tell you right now, I'll tie myself to one of those trees before I'll let it come down, because of the blood, sweat, and tears that we went through
Yeah.
to get those replanted.
Obviously, I just wanted to let you know that we've always been forthcoming to relocate this one tree over in this area, and the response was that the national park had hired a landscape architect, and there was something very specific to the design of the trees. But we've always been putting that relocation of that tree forward.
Now, your property bound, where is your property bound there?
It's this dark line
It's
here.
okay. I knew you were right there.
Yeah, it's
somewhere.
right. Most of the paved areas are right on the line.
Okay, and that tree that you're proposing to take down may not be one of the sycamores, because I believe that, and again, I'm gonna have to go out and look at it, but I believe that Renaissance was, their property ended at the end, the sycamores that were removed were not on their property, the part that they obtained from DCAM. The other issue, however, though, now is will your paving, and what impacts will that have on the three young sycamores that were just planted last year? And I, for one, would like to see it, something from an arborist indicating that this would not have any adverse impacts
Yeah.
on those trees.
So I would recommend that we continue.
Yeah.
I can
Well, there
have
may be other questions, but I want to get out there and actually
Sure.
just double check to make sure this isn't one of the sycamores.
Yeah, we'll have to have an arborist assess the critical root zone to the tree itself to ensure that that removing this wouldn't adversely
Right.
affect that.
Now, where your paths cross, where the large diagonal path comes in, yeah, and then the path, there's more sycamores there. And then in front of, on the river side of 52 Lawrence, there's even more sycamores.
Yeah, we did not locate those, but
Yeah, no, I know that, but
every
that's,
tree that we've located was located at the
Right.
at the trunk of the tree
right.
to ensure that we knew where those.
And again, this is fine with me. I just want assurances that the work being proposed is not going to have any adverse impacts on those trees.
Absolutely, I agree.
And that the tree you're removing is not one of the sycamores that we fought so hard to get reestablished. So to give you a historical perspective, if you walk out and on the Riverwalk itself, the city and the national park has placed kiosks that show
Yeah, sure.
you know,
Yep.
they give a historical perspective and stories of the mills.
Yeah, they're over in, here and then.
Well, these are on the riverside.
Okay,
And one of them is from an original glass plate dated 1863 or something like that. And it's taken from the new university side, their new,
you can see the trees in it.
and the trees are there
Right.
in the picture.
Yeah,
They already were, you know, 150, 200 years old. And those were the same trees. So, so you can see our interest in, and unfortunately, they're gone now. And it was tragic, but the trees that were reestablished are special to us. So we want to make
Obviously,
sure that,
yes.
that they're given every opportunity to flourish.
Yes.
So, I have.
Now that all has been brought full circle, because it always was a question at every meeting, and we've always been perplexed as to why, so
Yeah.
thanks for that.
Commissioner Varnum?
Were you proposing porous pavement there?
Yes.
In order to protect the tree?
No. We were proposing porous pavement here just because it's been a practice that we've been accustomed to doing, you know, under the direction of the engineering department. And it was a much easier method to provide the drainage mitigation for the increase in pavement without having to, you know, put in a subsurface infiltration system. And I can say that this is actually more than 100 feet away from the river, so we wouldn't fall under that problem that we had over on Western Ave.
So, excuse me, I don't see your snow storage areas. I'm sure it's on another plan that we've already reviewed. But if that particular island situation is removed, I can see the snow being pushed to the end of the lot.
Right.
And I'm not sure, it's a very steep access down River Walkway, and I'm not sure how much salt there would be in that snow material, and I'm just concerned that salty, snowy stuff would get through the porous pavement and also maybe melt off of whatever snow might be pushed to the end there,
Okay.
affecting the roots of the trees.
Yeah, we can talk to the arborist about that as well.
It almost seems like you could perhaps leave that one tree and forego 3 parking spaces, and that would prevent something like that from happening as far as snow removal. It would prevent them from just pushing it along.
Okay.
So they'd have to go in and push the snow the other way, in my mind, to get it out of there. I'd just like to look at the site. This is the first time I've seen the plan tonight. I didn't have the
Okay.
plan ahead of time to get out there and look at it.
Okay.
Commissioner Lynch?
Oh, no, extra.
Commissioner Beardron? No. Okay. Then at your request, since the chair notes that there's no one else here to speak regarding this project, so Swati, there's nothing else from the city? Okay. So at your request, then, we'll continue this to the October 22nd? Yeah.
I think that's enough time. I'll in a fast manner, get an arborist out there and coordinate a meeting through Judy or Swati.
Right.
So that
I don't
so
believe
that you
that-
have the opportunity to be present at that meeting.
I don't believe the rest of that lot is porous paved, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, do I have a motion to continue at the request of the proponent?
I'll make a motion to continue.
By Commissioner Beardron, seconded by Commissioner Varnum. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right. That's, thank you. Moving on to the first item on the agenda tonight is request for certificate of compliance, continued from a prior meeting. Michael Gittin, concerning DP file number 2060721. Project location is 576 Lawrence Street.
That's
And
correct,
if you
yeah.
could kindly identify yourself for the
Sure, I'm
record.
Kristen Zeman. I'm here for Michael Gittin from Cardno ATC. So the last meeting, we had discussed the certificate of compliance, and there was some concern about the drainage. I believe there was a pipe that was elevated, and it looked like it was causing the water to come out at too high of a velocity and perhaps cause some drainage issues. So since that time, they have gone out there, the property management, and they have extended the pipe. They put in a really nice, they kind of dug a pit and put in rocks to slow flow even further. In addition to that, they actually went and they reseeded the areas of grass that were of concern. I went out there and inspected it after the pretty large rain event we had last week, and I didn't see any evidence of drainage issues or new drainage problems. It seemed to be handling everything just fine. And then I actually went out today, and it looked like the grass had filled in pretty nicely, so.
I note that in discussions with our conservation officer and with Swathi, that the work was done as we had requested. However, I'm, at least for me, prepared to issue a partial COC tonight, but the new work that was done, generally we like to see a full season, especially, the regrassed area, that it's taken and will continue. So for me, I'd be willing to issue a partial COC for the original order,
Okay.
but with holding that just to make sure it's established itself, and we can put it on our calendar for a year from today, and at which point you wouldn't need to come back.
I would?
No,
said?
you wouldn't.
I don't, okay.
No, as long as, we have a chance to get out there, inspect it, make sure it's okay, or at least someone from the Conservation Commission comes out, takes a look at it and makes sure that it's established itself.
Okay,
And again, it probably doesn't even have to be a year. It's, probably midsummer would be sufficient if it looks like if it's established itself, so.
so will we have to follow up in any manner on that?
Yeah, I mean, you would get a full release at that time.
Okay,
So, but you wouldn't have to do anything further. You wouldn't have to request it.
okay.
Okay.
So it's just contingent based on it remaining healthy grass growth
Right,
next growing
right.
season?
Yeah, I mean, and that's a fairly standard requirement of conservation commissions when, when vegetation is requested,
Mhm.
that we wait a full growing season prior to releasing it.
Okay.
So, Commissioner Varnum?
Was there any reason why you needed a certificate earlier than that you know of?
To be honest, I don't know. It's what I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm involved in the project only very recently, and I'm actually a Lowell resident, so it's very easy for me to come and represent our company. And that is something that I need to find out more about. I don't know. I'm assuming if it was subject to any sale, would that be? I don't know the answer, unfortunately.
Because it sounds like, I was most concerned about the drainage issue near the visitor parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds like, that's going to be a solution to that. And so if you find that, there's some other reason why the
Mhm.
certificate is needed, I'd be willing to vote to issue it a little sooner than a
Okay.
year from now.
Yeah, I would too.
What's that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, if there's an exigency involved, I would too.
Okay, great.
Yeah, or at least at a very minimum, a letter that the commission is satisfied with the work and we're just waiting, it's more of a procedural issue than a substantive issue, so.
Okay. All right. So I'll follow up with that then.
Okay. Commissioner Lynch, Commissioner Beardron, all right. So do I have a motion to issue a partial certificate of compliance for all the work that's been performed pursuant to the order, just with the exception of the new planting?
I move to issue that certificate.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Lynch. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Moving on, 2 minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept
Oh,
all
there's
the
only
minutes.
one or two here. Okay, we have for approval, the October 23rd, 2013, the April 23rd, 2014, May 14th, 2014, the May 28th, 2014, the June 11th, 2014, the July 9th, 2014, the August 13th, 2014, the August 27th, 2014, the September 10th, 2014, and the September 24th, 2014, and that looks like it brings us completely up to date. Do I have a motion individually or en banc on all of those for approval or modification?
I'll make a motion to accept all these minutes.
By Commissioner Beardron,
I'll second it.
and a second by Commissioner Varnum. That's for all of them? Okay, all right. Any discussion on any of them?
There's a few typos in there, but I think they're understandable. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think we need to correct them
Yeah,
one by
the
one.
minutes have always just been a summary. The actual record is the tape, so, and I believe our whole minutes now are in perpetuity online, so you can go back and watch video and audio. So the actual method of using that as a actual record, someone would have to go through the hoops to get that, to get that authenticated, but our minutes have always been, and I believe it's part of our rules and regulations, that they're just a summary of our meetings, so, all right, motion by, it was Commissioner Beardron, seconded by Commissioner Varnum. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it, and that's for all of them, and I think, what is it, 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah. All right, and nothing further from the city, Swati? Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
By Commissioner Beardron, seconded by Commissioner Lynch. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the
Aye.
ayes have it, and good night.